This is GrantTalk, hosted by Libby Hikind, founder and CEO of GrantWatch and author of The Queen of Grants.
Hi, I'm Libby Hikind, and I'm the founder and CEO of GrantWatch.com, the author of The Queen of Grants, from teacher to grant writer to CEO, and I am your host today on GrantTalk. And I am so happy to be sitting here today with Soon Hagerty, who is the co-founder and president of the Boundless Futures Foundation. And when I read your story, Soon, I saw some of me in there, some of my story. So I really wanted to speak with you today, and I'm so glad you were able to join us. Tell us your history.
You know, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and I think a lot of that originated with my parents. So we came to the United States when I was 5. We were a part of the boat people from the 70s. My dad fought for the South Vietnamese, and after the fall of Saigon, he just felt like he was not going to be able to have a life here in Vietnam. And so we left by boat. Spent 6 months in a refugee camp in Indonesia and came to the United States. We were sponsored. And after a couple of years of living here, we recognized, we lived in Fresno, California, that the climate was very similar to Vietnam. So we started growing fruits and vegetables in our backyard, selling door to door, selling at farmers markets, and then opening up our own business. So I think pretty much since I was born, this idea of creating your own business and being able to have a better path for yourself and having a little bit more control of your destiny was maybe ingrained, maybe beaten into me. I'm not really sure.
I hope not. I see that, I started working at the age of 15. I was teaching Sunday school and after school, and I was still in high school. And so that's where I see that the strong work ethic, that's how I found similarities, the strong work ethic, seeing what needs to be done and finding a way to do it. Not sitting down and going, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that. So many people just never quite get to do what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think, you have to have good role models, and you have to see a little bit of fruits of labor from that work. Once you see that, I think you get hooked. And there's no other way. I think a lot of people are, once they learn it, it's really hard to unlearn good work ethic.
Right. And now, so you're out of the fruit business, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was my parents' business, right.
Okay. Are they still doing it?
You know what? They just retired a couple of years ago. So they did it for, I would say, over 40 years.
Wow.
So from the time we got here to a couple of years ago, they retired.
And so what are you doing now? Tell everybody, because it's so special.
So currently, I have a couple of roles. I am the founder of Boundless Futures Foundation, which is a nonprofit my husband McKeel and I started September of 2023 to help female founders in the early stages of their business. It's kind of my way to really contribute to society. I also, and I don't recommend this, run a restaurant as well. And it's a Vietnamese restaurant in northern Michigan where I live, and we donate $1 per bowl to charity. It's called the Good Bowl. And so if you've ever had pho or Vietnamese noodles, every time you come in and order a bowl, we ask you which charity do you want that dollar to go to today, and we donate it on your behalf. And I started that restaurant to thank the U.S. for taking our family in as Vietnamese immigrants. And the last thing in terms of work is I still consult for Hagerty, a company my husband and I helped take public almost more than 3 years ago. And so I do brand consulting, marketing. I used to work full-time there until we launched the foundation, and I really felt the foundation needed my full focus. And with kids and a whole busy life, I just had to really say, after 20 years of working at Hagerty, which insures vintage automobiles and does events for car people, I felt like I really needed to shift my life into more of this impact work through the restaurant and the foundation.
And I see that you're helping women initially in their startup business, and I could have used you years ago when I started GrantWatch.com.
I could have used me too, Libby. I could have used me too.
Right, and women need to know that, hey, if you take a look, if you reach out, search for grants, they're out there for you. And you give, I think, 25,000 to startups, correct?
Yeah, to individual founders, and then we also give grants to nonprofits that have a similar mission as ours. My view of this is I think it takes a full village to help women. So it's anywhere between 10,000 to 25 to 30,000, and these are all grants. As long as you are eligible for our grant, you fill out the application process, which can be a little extensive, and then we do a video interview with you, and then we obviously check the financials and your business plan, and so every quarter we award between 4 to 7 individual grants, and it used to be twice a year we award nonprofit grants, but this year in 2025 we've decided to evolve our nonprofit work, and we are awarding one nonprofit a year, but $100,000, and we have a partnership with them. And to think about how we can approach the larger issues together. I don't think $30,000 to one nonprofit is going to do very much to them.
100,000 will really make a
Yeah,
difference.
$100,000, and then I want to spend that year together with them, learning, collaborating, figuring out how we can help this community in a larger way.
And it's not a community that's like an isolated location. It's a community of people that
Right.
have the same or similar issues that is going to be solved with the money.
That's right.
So when we talk about the way your process is, I'd like to bring in the whole thought process about AI and using AI to write grants. And the fact that you're going to have that video interview is so important because
Yeah.
yes, you can use AI to help you with specific paragraphs of the grant proposal, but
Right.
if you don't have the capacity within you to run that program, it's going to come out in the video interview.
Right.
So
Right.
I've been looking at some other platforms besides GrantWatch to see, hey, what are they offering? Why are they charging $800 a year? And I'm looking and it's like, well, we have this AI and now you can write your grant through AI. And I don't like that idea.
Right.
I think that use it as a tool, like it's like Grammarly, get your
Right.
thoughts in order, right? But
Right.
the program, that the whole thing, the capacity of the organization, that has to come from you.
Right. I mean, I use AI, Chat GPT, to clean up my work and thinking a little bit. But, when we interview, especially video interview, we're interviewing the thinker. We're interviewing the passionate visionary. And AI cannot create and run a business day to day for you. It can clean up some communication. But I think, and running 3 businesses, I can tell you, you're constantly thinking through your strategy. You're constantly evolving your strategy. Sometimes you question your strategy, which is a good thing. And I think people have to run companies. AI cannot run companies. And you have to invest and believe in people because they're the ones that are going to be the innovation. I think AI can, I think your analogy of Grammarly is a great one. I use it for, as my search engine. I don't use it to think for me.
And I use it to organize my thoughts sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's not always right. And it takes
Yeah.
me someplace else because it doesn't,
Yes.
and everybody's going to say, well, they're coming out with a better one and a better one. But what God gave me in my brain and my creativity is what I want to come out and my passion. So yes, Grammarly, and it's one step beyond Grammarly
Yes.
because,
Oh, sure.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it can take my paragraph and I could say, I love what I wrote, but I need it more exciting.
Right.
Okay.
Or concise, right?
Right? Or
And
concise.
I think that helps with the grant process when you're filling out your pitch. It's like like anybody who reviews grants understands like the essence of the vision for that business or for that person, and that essence has to be there. AI can't recreate that essence.
Right. So now, when you get to the video interview, Is it usually one person or is it more people from the organization? How does it
You
work?
know, it can vary. We always start with our community director. You know, she'll do a screening call, then she'll get on video with you, just so to have that connection. Because I think part of what makes an entrepreneur special is how they connect with people to sell their ideas,
Right.
how they connect with people to communicate their vision. And I just think it builds more of that connection because, you know, you can, and we also want authenticity. We want to make sure that the person that is applying on that grant is the person that we're talking to. So you have to have some type of verification in addition to that human connection.
And many more foundations are using this video call
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
realize that anyone can now write a grant, which is true.
Right,
Anyone
right.
can, and that's for women who never wrote a grant before. Yes, AI, and you don't feel you have the writing skills. Yes, AI can help you, but you have to have a program. You have to have the capacity to run that program. You have to have the people in place. You're not going to just make up these resumes of people and say, well, this is what my director is going to be like, an avatar or something. That's not
Right.
what needs to be done. So let's take a look at one of the projects that you funded and why you're so proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit that I'm proud of in terms of the grantees that I've met. You know, one of the elements of getting a grant from us is you have to have some type of impact strategy in your business. And so that means either your product or service solves a societal issue, like the environment, or communities, and then also, or you can donate some of your proceeds or sales to charity. So you know, we've helped everyone from this company called Joyful Jaro, which is a mobile refillery. So if you think about it, you know, you're cleaning your house and you've got your weekly, you know, dishwashing detergent, soap, and every time you use it, maybe it's once every couple weeks, you're throwing a huge bottle of plastic away. You're
Right.
buying a new bottle of plastic. Same thing with your dishwashing, you know, your dishwashing soap, your laundry, everything. So this is a great company that has a mobile refillery. And so they're going to your house and refilling your products for you. And so because of our grant, they were able to create a second location in a different town. So it's just getting that thinking out there. There's another great product called
Let's go back to this. This is a really neat idea. Like
Yeah.
in your kitchen sink, you might have that dispenser and you have to refill that. So I buy like a bottle about
Yeah.
this size, right? Now, when that empties, it's going to end up recycle or trash or
And
whatever.
less than 10% of all things recycled actually get recycled.
Right.
So I mean, recycling is a positive thing, but I don't think it's the whole story. The whole story is just using plastic less. And so there's companies out there. Another company we have is Carter's Compost, which is also a composting company. Another one is called Demi, which is also, it started in Chicago. And so these are brand new companies that we're helping to launch. And so for us, it's not as if we've been in the business or in nonprofits for 10 years. It's going on year 2. But the things that I'm stumbling upon are really creative and great ideas. So, you know, early in our nonprofit existence, it's about uncovering great ideas and bringing them to the surface and being able to talk about them and then being able to support them not only with financial resources, but with mentorship.
So you're kind of like a Shark Tank.
Yeah,
About
you
it.
know what, you know, the only thing that I've said is I wish that we even got to these grantees earlier, because one of the biggest learnings that I've had is, you know, we've given grants to a company that's been around for a year, and then after they meet with us about their product positioning or their marketing, they're like, oh, wait, oh, God, I wish I would have done that at the beginning. This is what you said at the beginning of the call, right? Like, I wish that you had this expertise
Right.
as you're starting your company. Like, because we have something called the Advisory Circle, which is 5 women that have each started their own business in different areas of business. And so, you know, when you get a grant from us, you get 1 year access to this advisory circle. And so what happens, it's almost like experts on speed dial. So when you get a grant, you get awarded the grant pretty quickly, within 30 days of the
Oh, wow,
process.
that's such
Yeah.
reinforcement, really.
With approval. Once you go through the process and we say, you will get this grant within 30 days, it's in your checking account. So we try to move pretty quickly. But within that time frame, for 1 year, you'll get access to a financial team. They'll review your P&L. They'll look at your business plan. They'll help you think about what are the right metrics you should be paying attention to. Then you go to me, which is brand marketing, positioning, so product fit, branding, positioning, marketing, and then you'll go to scaling and manufacturing, and then you'll go to leadership as well. So
I had to do all that myself. I had to learn it myself.
Yeah,
there
to
was
learn, and
nobody to speak to. I would call up an accountant, and I
Yeah.
would throw ideas back and forth with her. Luckily, I was friendly,
Yeah.
so there was
Yeah.
no bill. I didn't know other women CEOs at that point.
Yeah.
And I didn't participate in any kind of networking events. I was raising a family.
Yeah.
Just enough time to get home in time from work, and then, cook dinner, put on my mommy hat, and then next, it was time to sit down and work on my business.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. And my goal of forming this advisory circle, it wasn't just financial, marketing, scaling experts. They were female financial marketing scaling who have started their own business.
Right. I want to learn from you because you've done it. And that's what I find now. People call me up and they tell me their idea and they go on and on and on. And then I say, how can I help you? What do you need? What do you need besides money? Because money, go to GrantWatch, find the grant, start applying. But what do you need from me? And really what they want to hear is, they want to hear my excitement. They want to hear how I didn't give up. And and how
I want to hear your
persevered.
story.
Right.
They want to hear your story. And what I found interesting from our advisory circle advisors is maybe 25% of the time, they're just needing connection. They're just needing to say, I've started this business and I don't know if I can do this. Or I don't know how to prioritize my time. Or how do I balance family and health and this business?
Right.
And as a woman, it's quite, what we try to do at the Boundless Futures Foundation is not pit men against women. What we try to do is isolate what are the nuances that are different between men and women in this space. Because
we have a lot of guilt. That's the first.
And women in general are expected to do it all, right? Be a great wife, be a good spouse, be a good mom, be a good entrepreneur, be a pillar in the community. And men are expected to do those things as well, but not at the scale that I think most women are expecting. And it's not just society. I think women self-impose some of these thoughts as well.
We feel that we should be able to balance and juggle everything. The issue is, and the truth is, that we never get it all done right, but we get it all done. We could have done everything better, but we get it all done. And that's what has to be. And people forgive you because you're doing so many things. You're not going to win an award as mommy if you're also having a career. Let's just face it. It's just not so. You're going to do the best that you can in everything that you're doing. And you're going to feel really great about yourself because you're doing everything you want to do. That's how you have to think about it. And your children learn that work ethic from you.
Yeah. I heard this great kind of thinking, which is you can't have it all, just not all at once. And so you have to prioritize, like, okay, this year is the year that I'm going to be heads down, in this. This year I'm going to be heads down in this. It's very difficult to have it all the time, all right, as you said.
My PR person said to me, because we took a little break, okay? And she said to me, Libby, are you finished? What are you up to right now? And I said to her, well, let's see. I have to do the coloring book for Kiki Kangaroo. I have to finish my butterfly book, Why Ricky Can't Get a Pet. And then I'm going to finish The Queen of Grants 2. This is The Queen of Grants 1, okay?
Yeah.
And then I'm ready.
Yeah, right.
And she said, "Are you planning to sleep?" But I
Yeah,
will get it all done because I want to. And
right,
so,
right.
and somebody called me yesterday and she was telling me how she has this nonprofit and they really need a grant writer and they don't have the money for a grant writer and the whole thing. And I said, "Why can't you just start writing yourself?" And she said, "I don't think it's possible." And I said, "Well, that's because that word impossible is in your vocabulary. It is
Right,
not in the vocabulary of the women that I have met. Not
right,
anymore.
right.
I
That's
am
great.
woman, hear me roar."
Right.
Okay, so tell me about the best grant you funded that you would be up there telling people all about it if you were speaking.
Oh my gosh, there's so many really
I
good
know.
ones.
That's,
I know. I had mentioned that one earlier, that Bake Me Healthy, and then also there's one called Belina that it's a little device that you put into your washing machine that gets rid of microplastics. I think that company one day will blow people's minds. It could be a public company one day. I think companies like Bake Me Healthy, it's a very family-oriented female founder. But what I like about it is it's just to me the perfect example of companies that we want to fund. So it's basically allergen-free cake mixes, but they use upcycled products. So products that would have been thrown away, like ugly bananas, ugly carrots, sunflower. When they make sunflower oil, they use the scraps that generally would have been thrown away.
so
There's
it's
even
a cake mix that you purchase?
yes, that you purchase, but they, if you're really passionate about the food world, 40% of all food goes to waste. And so there's companies out there helping to really reduce that statistic. And so it's to me one of the saddest statistics out there. That
And yet,
40%. I mean,
it's allergen free?
it's allergen free.
So
They
it's
use
gluten free?
yes, and so
Oh, that's right.
upcycled product. Yeah, so
Okay.
lots of different, a lot of different capabilities there. So, I mean, it's just companies like that that are really innovative, creative, and just really needed in society.
And it sources things that are otherwise
Yeah,
being thrown out.
exactly, into things that people purchase and need. So instead of creating new things, why not take things that would have been thrown out or disregarded and use that? So there's so many wins into stories like that.
Wow. That's amazing, really. Well, I really wish that you continue what you're doing. If people want to contact you, how would they?
Yeah, our website is boundlessfutures.org. There's definitely a great FAQ. You can learn all about the grant process. You can learn about who we are and what we do. We have social media that you can follow us, Boundless Futures, and see some of our stories. We look forward to hearing from anybody who's interested in connecting with us. If you have a great idea and you've launched your business, we award grants up to 3 years in operation. And if you are granted an award, you get to be part of our community for a year at least. So we can help you really think about having a sustainable, successful business that has a bigger impact on society because of some of the things you're doing in terms of giving back.
And I love the mentoring. The
Yeah.
5 women mentors. They'd be like my angels. That's how
Yeah.
I would see
Yeah,
them.
and we're also looking for additional advisory circle mentors. Like if you have expertise in finance or scaling or production or leadership and marketing, we're always looking for people who've started their own business, who are willing to donate some time to help others. And what I've loved about being part of this circle is just learning about new companies and learning about new technology. It's a great education for me as well.
So we're going to tell people to put the word boundless in the chat below. Comment with the word boundless so we can send a link. We can connect you with the organization. And of course, always follow GrantWatch and GrantTalk on every social media location. DM us if you'd like as well. And I just want to remind people that in this book, you will see how also motherhood became, is the necessity of invention, right? That we can start something. We might not know what we're doing in the beginning. We do all the research, we get it, we make it happen. And that's what your organization is about. Necessity is the motherhood of invention. Boy, did I turn that one around. You see a little bit of guilt that comes up when it comes to motherhood. But thankfully, all the work that I do has brought that work ethic into my children, and I hope to my grandchildren as well, and I hope to your children too. So,
Yes. Yes.
And that women all over the world know. I mean, your organization is really making a great deal of difference. Continue and go from strength to strength. And thank you so much for today.
Oh, it was really fun to chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to Grant Talk, powered by GrantWatch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this GrantWatch channel. Please consider subscribing to GrantWatch.com, and you can find the book, The Queen of Grants, by going to GrantWatch.com/book. Thank you again for spending your time with us.